Christ is risen. Alleluia. Welcome, friends, to this special edition of 3 Minutes with Father Al. It's a great joy for me to announce that this weekend we'll be celebrating Father Cristian's first anniversary of priestly ordination. Let's give it up to Father Cristian, the Rookie of the Year. Well, Father Cristian, could you share with us a little bit about your family and their influence in your life?
Yes, Father. Thank you very much for this invitation. Thanks, everyone out there. Father Cristian Vergara, originally from Colombia. I have to say that I received my faith from my mother. I remember when I was growing, my mother was always encouraging me to go to Mass, to be faithful, but most importantly, to have a very close relationship with God. And I think she was the one who initiated that desire to serve in a different way.
Absolutely. Moms have such a role to play in vocations. This past year, we've talked a lot about transitions. Transitioning from the seminary to the parish is an interesting time. What was that like for you?
Well, yes, I will say that's a very challenging time. When you are at the seminary, you have many ideas. How is it going to be in my parish? What I'm going to do? How is my pastor? How he's going to be? And once I get here, I noticed that everything was different. Thanks be to God, you are here, Father Al. Thanks to our parishioners, staff in the office. They have been very supportive in this journey. They always encourage me to do things better, to learn a lot. And I think the transition has been really powerful because everyone kind of embraced me and everyone welcomed me, and they're always telling me to help in this way. And also, it was very important to be open to understand the religious identity of the parish.
Yeah, every parish is unique, a unique personality, you might say. And looking back at this first year, what have been some of your moments of joy?
Well, I have experienced many, but I will say the most powerful ones have been being able to celebrate the sacraments, especially the sacrament of reconciliation, the sacrament of baptism. Those are the ones that I said that I don't know why, but I feel this powerful connection. They bring passion to my ministry. Of course, I love celebrating the Eucharist and all the other sacraments, but I would like to emphasize on these two specific sacraments, and also being able to walk with our parishioners, to know them, to understand why do they believe in certain way. That's something that gives us priests an opportunity to truly serve them in the way the Lord has called us to serve.
How true, how true. And I know recently you received a very, very special gift, and that story has really moved me. Could you share that with us?
Well, yes. Back in the seminary, everyone was always telling me, this is my saint, I love this saint, I'm always praying to this particular saint. And I feel bad a little bit because I didn't have a saint. I was praying to many of them, but I didn't have one. And right after my ordination, I said to the Lord, well, the first class relic that I received, that's going to be my saint. And I remember it was Lent, and I came to the gift shop, and Mr. Patton was there, and he called me, look what I got. And it was a first class relic, St. John Vianney. And I don't know why, but I felt a very powerful connection, but I didn't say anything. And then he said, once Lent is over, I'm going to give it to you. And I was extremely happy, and I started doing my research a little bit. And to my surprise, St. John Vianney, patron saint of diocesan priest, and he was born the same day that I was born. So
unbelievable.
It is like a powerful connection. When he gave it to me, it is difficult to describe it, but I feel like I belong to him and belong to me too. So St. John Vianney, powerful confessor. So I think
unbelievable.
God is always talking. God is always speaking in many ways.
Yeah, I find that very significant, a confirmation of your yes to God's call. And finally, I know people are always wanting to pray for priests. What are some of your particular desires in terms of receiving prayer?
Yes, we all priests, we need prayers. And especially during this year, I have been able to better understand the power of prayer when your parishioners pray for you, when the parishioners pray for their pastor. And I will say that many times as newly ordained, you try to be perfect. You try to do many things perfect, but we're not perfect. So I will invite you to please pray for faithfulness. Faithfulness is the gate of holiness, so that the Lord may give me that faithfulness we all need every single day to serve them, to serve you, to keep a close relationship with the Lord, and be always faithful to this priestly ministry that He has entrusted to me.
Amen. And faithfulness is the gate to holiness. I love that. Well, please join us this weekend for a wonderful celebration of the beauty and power of priesthood, and we look forward to seeing you in church. God bless.